Welcome to Unfiltered Summit Sisters. I'm Gina.
And I'm Julia.
We are two ride-or-die best friends who are paving the path for what true, authentic relationships look like.
We're facing hardships head-on, having real, uncensored conversations, supporting each other's growth, and shining a light on true, raw healing.
We are navigating the world the best we know how.
Having a hell of a time doing it.
Laughing every step of the way.
Through the rain
and sunshine.
This is Canyon Culture.
So we're both moms.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of one of our main jobs.
I have a couple kids between us.
Couple kids between us.
Just a few.
I mean, we don't have a dozen. So we're not there yet.
That's true. That's true.
Were you, growing up, were you the kind of girl that always wanted to be a mom, or did that kind of come as you became an adult?
Yeah, I always wanted to be a mom. That was my dream. I wanted to be a wife and a mom and homeschool my babies. I was the oldest of 5 growing up.
Yeah.
And so I helped a lot with the younger ones.
And you still wanted to have
Yes, I still wanted to be a mom, and I knew I wanted a big family from the beginning, always, never changed, never wavered. I knew.
Good. You got the big family.
I did.
You got the 6.
Wife part didn't go so well, but we're working on that.
Well, the wife part went fine. It was the husband part that didn't go well.
This is true.
Right? Because I would assume you were a great wife.
I think I was.
I didn't think I had the opportunity to be a good wife, right? Like being in survival mode, you don't have the opportunity to be the kind of partner you want to be.
It's true. It's true. But what about you? Did you always know you wanted to be a mom?
As far as I can remember, as far back as I can remember, I wanted to be a mom. And I wasn't the typical kid that played with dolls and Barbies and stuff, so it wasn't that. But I just remember I loved babysitting. I loved hanging out with kids. I don't think I'm as obsessed with babies as Mackenzie is. But I think that she hits a new level in a good way. She's adorable. But yeah, I loved babysitting. I remember in one of my classes in high school, my teacher asked, what is it that everybody wants to do when they grow up? And I was like, I want to be a mom. And he's like, and I was like, I feel like that's plenty. I feel like that's a good enough job.
Funny how you already knew that back then, that it was going to be plenty.
Yeah. Well, watching my mom was a hard worker. Mm-hmm. She was just always doing stuff, always providing. Our house was always clean. Our meals were always prepared. Mm-hmm. Like we didn't really lack for a whole lot of that. And I feel like she was around all the time, which I loved. But she was always like in the community doing church stuff. I don't know. I don't feel like I could have asked more from my mom. She was awesome. I really like her. But I also feel like she set a really high standard, and I thought it just came from being a mom. Like she just knew stuff, and I'm like, how did you know that? Because I just thought I'd become a mom, and you just get that download.
Right.
I didn't get mine. So I still would call her and be like, where's this at the grocery store? I don't know where this is. Or like she'd remember all our birthdays, and I'm like, how do you remember all of that? She goes, you just do. And I was like, I don't.
Yeah, right.
I don't know all my kids' birthdays.
But I don't.
Like I sit there, I'm like, the 21st? And I say it with a question when I'm talking to the kid to like the 20th. I'm like, dang it. I was there. I should know this.
Right.
So, like, how's motherhood been for you? Like,
well,
okay.
That's a loaded question.
It is a loaded question because I feel like you and I, we've talked about this. We kind of have 2 separate lives in our parenting journeys. Mm-hmm. I feel like we have during our marriage parenting and post-marriage parenting.
Yeah.
So maybe in a nutshell, go through what it was like for you just as a mom. Like we don't even have to go into the toxic relationship part of it, but just what was it like being a mom during your marriage?
So that part is still really hard for me because I was in so much toxicity and abuse that I wasn't there. I was there, but I wasn't. Mm-hmm. I've heard it explained as like your body's there, but your mind is off in space, like in a spaceship. And that is, at the time, I didn't realize that. Right. Looking back, I do now.
Yeah.
And that's really difficult because I feel like I missed a lot of my kids being little.
Like what kind of things do you feel like you missed? Because obviously you were physically there. So is it just moments?
I wasn't present.
Yeah.
I wasn't present. I don't have.
Like, would you want to be the Pinterest mom? Like, so you're doing stuff, or just like remembering moments of just being with your babies?
Just moments of being with them.
Okay.
Just moments of being with them. And so my memories are really limited.
Yeah.
Which is another trauma response. I definitely had way less patience.
Yeah.
Way less capacity to handle or deal with things. I wasn't a bad mom by any means.
Right.
I, provided for them and gave them, everything that they needed. I just feel like I missed so much and I wasn't truly present.
Yeah. That's hard. Mm-hmm. So is that, do you feel guilty for that now? Or are you kind of like, nope, I did the best that I could and I'm moving on?
I think I did have to work through some guilt. But ultimately, when it comes down to it, I did the best that I could for the situation that I was in. And I know that.
Yeah.
And the kids are amazing and happy and well-adjusted, and they're amazing kids. They don't remember.
Yeah.
Just I do.
Right.
And so that's still sad. That's still sad for me.
Right. Especially because when you've been wanting to do this your whole life, to miss out those really precious moments that go fast. Yeah. All of parenting, all the stages are going super fast. So yeah, that is hard. It's not
ideal.
No, and mine was really similar. I feel a lot of the same things that you did, where I look back on pictures and I just kind of see this hollow image of a person. Right. And I feel like I did things with them, but they don't hold any memories, if that makes, what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would try and do, not very often actually, because crafting is the worst. So, but I would try and do stuff like let's cook, let's do this, like let's make, like I would do things on purpose to make memories, and they don't stick, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I compare everything during my marriage in this dark haze, and so even if I do have a memory, it's got this darkness to it. Because there was a lot of disassociation, there was a lot of just getting through the day, because it wasn't that the parenting at that time was hard by itself. It was the lifestyle that maybe not the lifestyle, but the relationship that made it hard and unable to enjoy being a mom. And that is hard. And I've worked hard on that idea of I did the best that I could, and I provided everything I could, and I protected them the best that I could. And so I don't have a lot of guilt for that. But I think what I want to hear more about from you is what it's like been the last 5 years parenting in what we call the light. Yes. We call the last 5 years after the divorce more of living in the light.
First, 5 years.
Isn't that crazy?
5 years. What?
I mean, we've got a few more months, but we're rounding up.
That's crazy.
Because once you hit...
It's a whole hand.
It's a whole hand.
Yeah.
No, I feel like once I hit September, I'm like, the year's over. We still have September, October, November. We still have 4 months. I'm like, oh, the year's over.
It's over.
We're
Basically, 2024. Happy New Year.
We missed Christmas. I'm so sorry. But that's how it feels. And for me, yeah, January comes with my anniversary of that day. So, we are 4 months shy of 5 years.
Oh my gosh.
Which is happy and sad at the same time.
Yeah.
It feels like it was a million years away, million years ago. But anyway, yeah, I want to hear about what it's been like parenting in the light in general, and just any
completely different. So
light and dark are different. I didn't realize.
Very. Actually opposites.
Oh, got it. Go ahead.
So different. Parenting now, I think that now my kids have a present parent. Before they didn't have one at all.
Right.
Now they have a present parent in their lives every day. And now I'm getting to really enjoy and make memories. And one of my dad's biggest pieces of advice. So I'm the oldest of 7 now. And so my dad's been parenting for a very long time.
What is it, 30?
21. Shush.
Listen, if I'm 611, you have got to be older than 21. And if your oldest is 15, You're definitely older than 21. I'm so sorry to break your bubble.
So my dad's got a lot of parenting experience because there's been 7 of us and he's been parenting for over 3 decades. And
there you go.
Yeah.
Let that settle in.
And one of his biggest pieces of advice has always been to discipline when you need to, but make it short, make it quick, and move on. Enjoy them because the years go by so fast.
I love that.
Spend the majority of your time enjoying and being present.
Yeah. I had a neighbor of ours, and I may have shared this story on the podcast before, but a neighbor of ours, his mom passed away and it was a slower death. And as she was passing, people got to visit and ask her questions, and she got to share her wisdom. And one of the things people asked is like, do you have regrets? Or maybe they didn't ask, she just shared this. Either way, her words of wisdom were, say yes more. The years, like the things that we make so heavy are not that heavy. Say yes to your kids more. And I have loved being able to say yes more, because when you're present, you have a better perspective on what life is like.
Right.
And so you're able to go, is eating this piece of pizza in the living room that big of a deal?
Right.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
And the memories we get to make, where I get to say yes. Yeah, we're going to eat pizza in the living room today. Yes, we're going to stay up late. Yes, we're going to go do these things. Yeah, you get to skip your chores today.
Right.
And you get to go make memories with your friends and go cold plunging in September.
In the creek.
The creek at the park. Right? Like they're going to remember that instead of me focusing so much on, is my house clean enough?
Right. I think about that all the time. Like the other day, the house was just a disaster. And I look up and I'm like, one day there won't be a Spider-Man on the counter.
There won't be a Spider-Man.
And then I want to cry.
There won't be a Spider-Man.
I go from being so frustrated that the house is complete chaos and mess, and I feel like I can't function, to I'm going to cry about Spider-Man on the counter.
Or that your little one's not going to call them panties.
Yeah.
That he's not going to go, where are my panties?
Right.
I think that's my favorite part about parenting in the light, is those little moments stick with us so much more. We get to hold on to those. We don't even have to try. They're just there. We get to say yes. We get to be present. We get to make memories. And my relationship with my kids, because that's the part that has broken my heart the most looking back, is that when I imagined me being a parent, it was mostly to babies, not to kids or teenagers.
Oh, yeah, that's a whole different.
That's a whole other ballgame.
Yep.
But I was so excited to have these close relationships with my kids. And I feel like because I wasn't present and I was an empty shell of a person during that marriage, they had no relationship. They just had this person who kept them alive. And they're like, I like you.
Yes.
Because you keep me alive. There was none of this, oh, we have inside jokes, or we want to spend time together because we have similar interests. Like, I love that you and Mackenzie have shows that you watch together. Yes. I think that's so cute, because it's not just the shows. You guys talk about it.
Yes.
And there's like a whole relationship just around your guys' shows.
It is.
And I love that. And with Russell, he wants me to be at activities. He wants to come sit and talk to me when he's done with his day at your house or with the young men or whatever. He wants to sit down and discuss what's going on with him. And I get to have these actual relationships with my kids.
Yes.
That are beautiful, because they're not, you and I talk together about how we are very clear that we are not your best friends.
Right.
We are your parents.
That is huge. I think that
we're not Gilmore Girls and get over here.
No. And I think that parents in general struggle with that when their kids become teenagers and parenting looks different. I think even more so when you're a single parent.
Yes, because you want to connect with them.
Right.
And for me, I do struggle because I'm going, this is new. I don't know how to be a parent, but then also connect with you when you are closer to my maturity than you've ever been. They're still not mature, right? Like, I get that, but they're getting closer, right? So whether it's your girl's interest in boys, I'm living that too. So we have commonality. And so it's hard for me to recognize going, that's not for you. This is. But when we do find those sweet moments where we are sharing things that are appropriate and we can connect in a, for me, mother-son connection and build that relationship, that's been one of the sweetest things.
I love that. I think one of my favorite stages has been teenagers.
Really?
which I want everybody to hear, because there's just this stigma of like, just wait till they're teenagers.
Right.
Like, it's going to be horrible.
You kind of have special teenagers too, though. You got to recognize that. They're not
amazing. They're amazing. But teenagers are so fun because you're getting to see them become their own person.
Yeah.
What they like, what they don't like, what, you know, their reactions to things. It's so fun. And they have their teenager moments for sure. But like my dad said, they're really quick and short-lived.
Well, I think because you don't put pressure on it, you're not going, oh my gosh, devastation.
Right.
But I also think none of our kids there's a lot of kids out there that are doing hard things.
Yeah.
And I think because of, I will attest this to them being awesome, the way we parent and the community that they all have.
Right.
We're not, knock on wood, dealing with sex or drugs or drinking on a massive level.
Right.
We are teaching and learning, and they are little sponges.
Yes.
And willing to listen and learn.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm so glad that we got divorced before our kids were real teenagers.
Yes.
So that we could mend those relationships. Maybe not mend, but build.
Mm-hmm.
So that we can have the trust. So that we can have that space to teach.
Yep.
And learn ourselves. But I kind of do like the teenagers too. I've only been here for like 6 months, but
they're so fun. And like they can shower by themselves.
I love that part. Well,
so nice.
Russell has just started showering in the morning, so he gets up half an hour before he needs to shower all by himself. And I'm like, is there a girl involved? So he came home one day with a mark on his neck that looks an awful lot like a hickey. My immediate thing is I took a picture and I was like, you take care of this. And I told him, I was like, you're going to have to go talk to your other mother about this because that is not okay. But at the same time, we had a relationship like, what is that, Russell? And he goes, what are you talking about? I was like, is that a hickey? Who gave it to you? And he's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, what is that? And I'm like pestering him, right? And I'm not serious. Because I trust him, and I don't, like,
He comes to my house, I'm like, what's on your neck, son?
Oldest son of mine.
Which looks like this, because he's bigger and taller than me, right? So I'm looking up, like, what's on your
well,
neck?
it's eye level.
I'm still in charge here.
That's the hard thing, too. He is getting taller than me, and I'm just like, I'm going to need you to sit down for this conversation.
So I can stand,
so I can establish
be more in charge.
I really do. Right now, parenting and being a mom is super hard, and being a single mom is super hard because we talk about how wonderful our community is, and I don't know how either of us could do this without them. But a lot of the times, every night for me, I'm going to bed by myself. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times for you, you're going to bed by yourself, and we are dealing with things all by ourselves, and that's hard. But I love that we are present enough that those hard things are there and we give them their space, but we don't sit there and just go, this is it. Mm-hmm. There are lots of days where you will text me and you're like, I'm done, I'm running away, and I tell you, if you leave without me, I will be pissed because I'm done too.
Right.
And so there are a lot of days. I don't know, would you at least twice a week?
Yep.
Minimum?
That feels good. That feels
minimum.
Right.
Lately it's been more than that. But yeah, there will be days where I am in tears or you are in tears and we're like, we are so fucking done.
I mean, there are absolutely days that even though this is my dream and even though this is the most joy and peace that we've ever had, there are still days where I'm like, I don't want to do this. I want to quit. Or I want to call in a sub. I'm taking the weekend off. I'm taking a week of vacation, which, you know, none of that actually really exists for us.
No. But it's not... There's a lot of people like, what can we do to help? And I'm like, there's literally nothing you can do. You are not these children's parents. You are not the weight of my life is on no one else's shoulders but my own.
Right.
And that's where I do think that our relationship with Christ and recognizing our community and offering, hey, this is where you can help. Can you help drive Madison and Mackenzie these days? Can you offer meals these days?
Right.
And for me, it's when you step in and say, let me go take care of the child that is losing his ever-loving mind.
Yeah.
My favorite was the other day, Adam was having a hard time. And you're like, oh my gosh, can I do it, please? Like, you got excited.
Pick me.
So you went in and you were like, the best was he was not expecting me. And you burst into the room and he's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And you guys had a good talk.
We did.
And I love that. And so even though that weight of that child growing up and all the things is on my shoulders, I need to make sure I stop and recognize there are moments where I didn't have to do that one.
Right.
I didn't have to do that one. I have community that are willing to. I have people in our community who will take Thomas so I can have a break before I lose it.
Yep.
Well, I already had lost it, so that I go beyond losing it. But
so you don't run away for good.
for good. Right. I was like, nope, that's why I'm giving them to them, because I need to run away.
It's just temporarily running away.
Yes. Processing. But it's again that idea that two opposite emotions are coexisting, because I love what you just said. This is the most peace, the most joy we've ever felt. We are living our dream lives right now. But there are a lot of days. And so it's not isolated to single moms. It's all people.
It is.
All of us are going through hard times.
It is. And I want to say it's okay to have all of these feelings. It's okay to run away for a little bit, right? The important thing is that we're not acting on those feelings, right?
Yeah.
When we are at the point of needing to quit, something has to change.
Yeah.
And we recognize that, right? We need to leave for a little bit, or we need to call in for help or backup or something.
Do you know how to do that? Are you?
No, I'm just preaching to the choir.
Got it. Just making sure. Well, I'll replay.
I know what I'm doing.
I don't need help.
Don't correct me.
I will replay this clip for you when you're like, I'm done. I'm like, who have you called to help? Because you didn't ask me for help. So did you call somebody else? Did you call your boyfriend? No? Okay.
Yeah.
I just need you to take like you are giving such amazing advice, but you are horrible at taking your own advice.
Same. Same.
No way. I'm good at it.
But I used to feel guilty for having those feelings of not, I don't want to be a mom right now, or I want to quit, or I want to run away. There's no reason to feel guilty over those feelings. They're normal human feelings. We all have them. We all walk through them. What you do with them is important.
Well, what are we calling the doctor I see? He's a functional medicine doctor, so he's not a therapist, but we're doing a lot of therapy, and he's not like my religious leader, but we talk religion, so we're just gonna, what do we call him? My medicine man.
Medicine man. Perfect.
So the medicine man. So I had an appointment the other day, and I told him, I was talking about a specific child, and I was like, I hate him. I hate him right now, and I am bawling, and I'm going to do it now, because there are so many moments where this child is pushing me to a limit I didn't know I even had.
Right.
And I'm like, I hate him. And I hate feeling that way.
Yes.
I don't want to hate my children. And he looks at me, he goes, God hates his children too. And I was like, what? He's like, he always loves us, but he hates a lot of the things that we do.
Right.
And he hates a lot of the things we put him through. I was like, I'm good then. Save that one. That's going to take some time. But it was like, okay, that makes sense. Like, he has to.
Right.
He can't just be happy with all of our choices. No. So we get to, I don't know. It gave me like a hall pass. And not that I want to hate my child, but it relinquishes a lot of that
guilt.
It took
the guilt away from, and the condemnation.
Yes, I love that. The condemnation, because I was like, I'm a mom. I'm not supposed to. Because with social media and Pinterest, we see moms not hating their kids.
Right.
We see them doing all the things and just loving every minute. And I'm like, I don't love every minute.
Nope.
I don't love a lot of the minutes.
Nope. And I will never, ever, ever miss cleaning up puke.
Nope. Or poop.
Or pee from everywhere.
The Spider-Man on the table, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But I will never miss wiping boogers off the walls.
Oh my gosh, why?
Ever.
Why are there boogers on the walls?
Exactly.
Or buttermilk spilled on the carpet. I'm not going to miss that ever.
Right?
Destruction of property, not going to miss it.
Nope. The kids starting a fire while I'm working, not going to miss that. Not going to miss that.
Sliding glass doors getting broken, not going to miss that.
There's a lot I'm not going to miss.
It
is okay to not love every single moment of mothering.
Of the best thing ever.
Yeah, it's okay.
I need to be reminded of that, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
But I do. So it's fall. If you're not watching the YouTube, we say this all the time. We're like, why are you not watching? Because the views, we are busting our butts getting to these views.
For real.
But
the long grass that we're sitting in right now, we're not even sure y'all can actually see us.
I don't.
But you can see the fall colors behind us, so.
And the waves of grass blowing in the wind.
This is like Pocahontas, Colors of the Wind. That's what came to me.
So is she pretty much saying it's fall? Is that the song's all about, is fall?
I don't remember the movie that well.
Oh. We got off on a tangent.
We did. Shocker.
I don't know what I was talking about, and it's fine. I'm grateful that I get to be a mom, because there are so many women out there that don't get to be a mom. And not only do I get to be a mom, I get to be a biological mom. And I want everyone out there to understand that as much as it's hard and difficult, I don't take it for granted.
Right.
I understand that I am blessed that my ability to conceive my children and carry my children and deliver my children and have healthy children is not missed on me. That is in my gratitude journal often. That the hardness that I'm going through does not take away the hardness that somebody else is going through. I am so grateful that I get to be the mother of these 10 children that make me want to run away.
Yeah, absolutely. I think my gratitude is a lot of the same. Just grateful that I get to be a mom, because I know there's so many women out there that is their dream, and they're not getting to live that. And I see that, and I recognize that, and hold space for that. I have a lot of babies, and I'm really, really blessed. I also lost a lot of babies. And so I am grateful that I get the privilege of being a mom. It's a privilege.
It is.
And I'm just thankful for that.
So go ahead and run away. Just make sure you come back. I think that's the ending moral of the story.
Perfect.
Okay. All right. Till next week.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Unfiltered Summit Sisters.
Come join us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok to get a sneak peek into our lives.
It's beautiful, chaotic, crazy, and fun.
What else would you expect raising 10 kids?
All the links you need are in the show notes.
See you next week.